From the rifles to the headbands and even the masks that we use in the Speedsoft community, every player has a unique fit.
Excuse me, are y'all with the cult?
We're not a cult. We're an organization that promotes love and...
Yeah, this is it.
I got the chance to play the NSL for just one day over the weekend, and although it was a 2-day event, each day is jam-packed with the entire bracket of teams going head-to-head in this very competitive airsoft community. For an event such as the NSL, I do use specific gear, more or less the same if I'm competing in any type of event, but it's catering to a full day's worth of matches. I keep getting the most simplest questions about my gear, so I figured it's probably time to give you guys another loadout video specifically for the NSL and why I use it.
I don't know how to say it.
Before I start this video, I'm going to thank this week's channel members: Polar Gems, HSA Doc, Christos, Algebra, CQ Speed, and Jose. Thank you guys. Without you all, I wouldn't be able to purchase the Lunchables I could have once a week for dinner. Playing the NSL over the weekend was a pretty good experience, just for the fact that I was able to see everyone all over again after taking such a big break from the Speedsoft scene. Every player on the field has a unique position that they need to fill, and whatever role that is, of course, they're going to need specific gear to cater to that. And for me, I'm typically a mid to forward player. I'm pretty fast, but I love to keep back and delay my bunkers as much as I can, just so I can get that information from the other team and relay it to my own teammates. And now that I'm in my early 30s, of course I got to play smarter, not harder. Masks are the things that you feel like would be pretty simple, but I still get a lot of questions on these specific types of masks that I use. One main reason is because content creation, I use a GoPro at the top of my mask, and I want it to at least fit snug and firm without getting too much wobble. And the Dye i4 Pro mask does just that. The Dye i4 is a very short version of the Dye i5, very old paintball style mask. All right. As of making this video, I did come across a push mask, and honestly, it's probably one of the better masks I've ever used in a long time. What I like about this mask is that it comes with its own small case that can easily fit into my gear bag. I can also put my GoPro, batteries, and other tools inside that case, so that I don't have to go around the rest of my bag and try to find everything and just waste time. I loved my dye mask as much as I did my carbon, but at this time I don't really see myself using it, especially with those big straps and of course the current controversy that's happening at this time. And if you know, you know. Jerseys are the thing that seems to be what everyone wants when you get into the competitive scene. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you have a jersey or not, but specifically for the NSL, you have to adhere to the rules. I've gone through a ton of jerseys, and it doesn't really matter what brand or whoever you make it with, just as long as you like it, and that's that. I have a ton of jerseys from DBS, Asylum, and now the newest edition from Deadline Mob. Really appreciate the boys for putting me on just for one day, just for the one day. Can't thank them enough. If anything, I would like my jerseys to not have that ridiculous amount of padding, whether that's at the arms or even at the shoulders. It makes me look like a linebacker.
It looks like you got a boo-boo.
I see there's typically somewhat of a debate when it comes to the Speedsoft scene and the type of events that are going on. Some people say that there's not really much of a paintball scene going on, or there's a ton of paintball LARPers that are trying to emulate speedball, but the fact of the matter is it's basically going off the same style 5v5 format that we've been playing for the past decade. We've been getting a ton of paintball LARPers on the field who probably can't even pass a D5 league. I guess what's kind of cool about it is the fact that you can get a ton of paintball gear and that transitions well into the Speedsoft scene. Typically what I run are these HK Army joggers that I've been having on and off throughout the past few years. I will say, however, they don't really do well on concrete, so they might just last you for about 6 months to about a year. And I always wear knee pads, and specifically the carbon paintball knee pads. And for my arms, I just use a very cheap set of arm pads from Amazon. These things usually last for about a year or so. Something simplistic, lightweight, slim is going to be my best bet. Speaking of long games and getting a little bit comfortable, I have a pair of James Hardens. They're just something I found on Amazon during Black Friday, just so I can have something very comfortable to wear. It's really not worth wearing a bunch of Gucci shoes on the field, but I mean, hey, if that's your style, by all means, go for it. I used to wear Vans all the time, but of course, when you're playing a long 15-minute round with one team and you're going to keep doing that at least 3 to 4 times throughout the entire day, you're going to need something that's going to be a little bit comfortable, and that's why I picked these shoes out. I think they were about $50 when I did purchase them on Amazon. I haven't had any concerns, especially if I'm going to use it on the pavement. It's got a ton of grip. Headbands. Whether you're following a cult or just want something simplistic, I think you really don't need to break the bank for any of these. Most headbands are basically the same material for the sole purpose of protecting your head and giving yourself a customizable gear set for your entire fit. If you're asking me for any recommendations, honestly, you could just buy any regular headband and customize it the way you want. It's all going to be the same material. It's not just based on hype. I have fallen into the hype. I've gotten a few Hormesis headbands, although they weren't purchased from the actual website. I got them secondhand from friends. And I mean, honestly, I really used them on the paintball field and airsoft, but my hype for them has just pretty much died down, and I realized I really don't need much to look decent on the field. It's all created from the same denim material that's constructed from the child exploited labor slaves in India. I mean, come on, it's just a headband. Have fun with it. Getting into the bread and butter, of course, you guys have seen my ARC rifle before. Basically kind of just setting off my entire quote-unquote paintball LARPing setup. Now, I do play paintball from time to time, but of course that's just a running joke within the community because we see a lot of guys who probably won't pass D5 if they actually played in the league. But I digress. This is my primary rifle as of now, just because I did sell all of my carbon builds. The ARC Air Sports rifle has been my reliable primary throughout the entire year. The one and only mechanical rifle that's shooting straight beams out there on the Speedsoft field. Another notable feature about the ARC Air Sports rifle is the fact that it's very air efficient, and I don't see myself filling up my tank as often as other players do. I think I've only filled it like one other time, totaling about 2 times throughout the day, and that was it. The only takeaway I do have for this rifle is the fact that murder mags aren't able to fit in the body, which honestly doesn't really bug me too much since I always run PTS EPM1 and 1S mags on most of my builds anyway. And to complete my bread and butter setup, this Velcro based Neppro belt has been my favorite belt for the past year. The team at Neppro has been with me since day one, since they were back at Cubbysoft and then separated to make their own brand without limitations, just to be able to be more innovative and provide for the community. The Neppro belt system, of course, is gotta be a one size fits all. They do provide extra straps for all you big thick boys out there, and of course they fit most small weights as well. You can customize the amount of mag pouches that you can put into the belt itself, and you can even use it for paintball. As someone who's in his early 30s, my favorite part about this low profile belt is the fact that they have a thick padded cushion that can be applied to your lower back. If you were interested in looking at this belt specifically, of course, these guys are my sponsor at NeproSpeedsoftGear.com. You can use code FERNIE for 5% off your next purchase. Very simple belt, one and done, easy, just get out in the field and go. Thanks for watching my video, boys. Again, this is just the gist of what I'm using throughout this entire year. Nothing special, very simplistic, and I hope it was straight to the point and helped a lot of you out there. Just remember, stay safe and have fun, and I'll see you guys on the next video.